welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name's Marie. And in this video, I'm going to be discussing a little bit about my journey as a micro-influencer and sort of what I've learned these past few months since I've dedicated my time influencing. So I have just a few things that I want to go over. Some of it is just what I've experienced, and I'm also going to give some advice to people who are considering starting an influencer journey and sort of what to do and what not to do along the way. So first, I'm going to give a little backstory. I started my influencer journey a few months ago. I decided that I wanted to dedicate time to my social media and building my presence on there, mostly on Instagram and TikTok. I actually took a break from my YouTube channel. If you notice, the last video that I posted was from months ago. I just wanted to really focus on building my audience on the more popular platforms like TikTok and Instagram. So I took a break from YouTube, and then I started to consistently post on both TikTok and Instagram. And along the way, I just learned that it wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. Prior to starting, I took some time to really do my research, to learn both platforms, the algorithms, and sort of just what would work and what I could do to grow my following as fast as I could. So what I learned is the algorithm is consistently changing on these platforms. I mean, I know there's a lot of videos of people just sort of giving advice on ways to blow up on these platforms, but it's really not that straightforward. And what works for some people doesn't necessarily work for others. And that's something that I learned and I kind of had to accept. I was just seeing people blow up overnight or saying that, they did this and they instantly got a following. And when I tried to incorporate those things, it didn't work for me. So that was a bit disappointing. Also, what I learned is that understanding your niche is really important. For me, I'm in the fashion and beauty niche. So with that, there's a lot of expenses that come with it, having to buy clothes, makeup, shoes, accessories, hair products, etc. And that is costly. You have to spend money. So you really have to set some time aside and think about what it is that you want to get out of it. So for me, I had to, for one, I didn't realize that it would cost so much and that I would have to constantly be investing, constantly having to buy clothes, having to buy shoes, makeup, just to sort of keep up with everything. You can only wear the same outfit but so many times, right? You can only take a picture in an outfit once, maybe twice. If you're creative, you can repurpose certain items, but for the most part, you get one or two uses out of it. So I was constantly having to spend money on clothes, shoes, and just all the necessities to make my content. So that's something that I learned that, before you get to a point where brands and companies are sending you free stuff, you have to dig into your pocket and invest in these stuff, which is not necessarily a bad thing because I like fashion and beauty. So, the things that I was buying are things that I'm going to use, but definitely consider the money that you're going to have to spend. I actually remember one influencer that I watched her video when she was talking about when she started off. She's also in the fashion niche. I think she said she spent about like $5,000 at first so that she can have clothes to do her hauls and her try on hauls and stuff. So, that's a lot of money to have to spend, just for this. So definitely I learned that you have to treat this like a business. You have to spend money, or you're going to have to spend money. Another thing is, and this actually goes back to what I was talking about earlier with the whole algorithm. I know a lot of people say that you have to jump on trends, just pay attention to what's trending at the moment, whether it be sounds, whether it be just video concepts, hop on trends. That's what people say. And while I agree, it is good to hop on trends and your chances of going viral or being seen on these platforms is a lot higher. However, that doesn't always work. I personally believe that with these platforms, it's really just about luck. Like, I really think it comes down to luck. I think that some videos go viral and some don't. You can go on certain people's pages and you might see one video has 1 million views and the very next video on their page has maybe 1,000 views, right? You may spend a lot of time creating a video and that video only get a few hundred views maybe. And then you might make another video, just at the spare of the moment, and that video can blow up. And that's happened to me, where it's like the videos that I'm not putting much effort in seem to be the ones that gain traction, whereas the videos where I are just more well thought out, those videos don't get a lot of views. And it can be annoying, but that's just what it is. Trying to figure out the algorithm is like, you're literally gonna drive yourself insane. I don't really think there's necessarily a method that works. I think that it's just pure luck. I think it's timing. I think there's just a lot of things that play into what goes viral. And also every platform is different. So Instagram is different and TikTok is different, right? And YouTube is different. So you really have to just try to understand like each platform and what might work for that platform. Now, I want to talk about sort of what a lot of influencers, the ones who are actually big and have like a big presence on social media, what they don't tell you. And I feel like I should have started the video off with this, but it just came in my mind, so I'm gonna bring it up now. So social media is really an illusion. And what we see is really not what it is half of the time, actually majority of the time. And this was something that I learned at the start of my influencer journey. So before I started taking pictures, making videos, I just did a lot of research and I followed a lot of people who were on a similar journey as me and to try to see what worked for them. So for example, on Instagram, we know Instagram is a photo app, or it was. A lot of the aesthetics that we see on Instagram is really not what it is. And that was so mind-blowing to me. Like, I would see people renting out studios to take their pictures, which I actually did once. And I think that if you can afford it, you should, because it's really helpful. People, renting out studios, going into stores, back alleys, apartment buildings, hotel lobbies. I mean, just so many different places so that they can take these pictures and they can have this aesthetic, this luxurious aesthetic. And that's what sort of people on social media, that's what they consume. That's what they feed into. We all, we love aesthetically pleasing things. So that was something that was really shocking to me and something that I think a lot of people need to consider. Like for me, I don't live in an area where, I have all these glamorous things around me. I don't, where I live, my apartment, it's not that aesthetically pleasing. I mean, I've tried to make it as much as I can. I've tried to buy equipment, but there's only so many pictures and videos I could take with the same wall, right? people want to see something different. So I myself have rented out studios and taken pictures, gone to certain places, you know, with the nice scenery so I could take pictures. So that's something that you really want to consider. You're going to have to be traveling. You're going to have to be spending money renting out, whether it's in a studio, a photo studio, an Airbnb, a hotel, whatever, so you can keep up with the Jones, as they say. Like, you really have to consider that. So that was something that was shocking to me, and also, you know, at the same time made me feel a little bit better, because I'm like, okay, you know, it's not real. Like, it's not real. So anyone can do it, essentially. So that is something that you should keep in mind. So for me personally, I'm not quite where I want to be yet in my influencer journey. I'm still what you would consider a micro influencer. I don't really have a lot of followers. My engagement is not that great. I have been very consistent these last few months with posting on all my socials, but I definitely just need to dedicate more time to creating content. It sometimes gets a little bit discouraging, but, you know, I understand that it takes time, and, you know, it's not going to happen exactly when I want it to. So that's something that anyone else out there that's on their journey or just started their journey, please keep that in mind too. It takes a lot of time. It really does. Don't let other people's sort of experience, you know, delude what your journey is going to be like. Because for someone, in a month, 2 months, they may be at a certain point where they want to be, but for you, it may take you 6 months to a year or even more than that. So definitely keep that in mind. It takes a lot of investing, that being time and money. So, you know, everyone wants to be an influencer nowadays, but, you know, not everyone has what it takes. Not everyone has the passion and the drive. I always say it, this is a job. It's literally a job. Like, you literally have to take time out to, you know, come up with ideas and concepts, you know, film, edit, go back and make changes. Like, it's literally a job, and sometimes it can get overwhelming, and if you're not getting what you want out of it right away, you might get discouraged and give up, and that happens to a lot of people. But those who it's meant for, they will persevere. Another thing that I want to mention is, I think it's really important, if you're just starting out, to network with people that are sort of on the same level as you. I know we like to follow the influencers that are already at the point where we want to be, and that's good. You know, I think that it's motivating. However, I think it's important to also, you know, connect with people that are at the same level as you, that are, you know, that have the same sort of goals as you, because you can learn a lot. I've actually learned a lot from other micro influencers. For example, there's this type of social media marketing called UGC, which stands for user generated content. And this is something that just happened to pop up on my For You page on TikTok one day. And it seemed interesting, so I inquired about it. I, you know, looked into it. I did some research on TikTok, on YouTube, and what I found is that it's something that's actually really good and can be really helpful for micro influencers or people that are starting out, because essentially what it is content that brands use on their social media to garner sales and promote their products, essentially. So an individual will make a video of themselves using a product, whatever, it could be anything in any niche, and they will, you know, basically just explain what the product is, the use of the product and sort of the quality of the product. And essentially they're promoting the product to the audience. And why this form of promotion is beneficial is because it's regular everyday people using a product. It doesn't look sponsored. It looks like just a regular person using a product and giving their honest review of it. So brands have decided to take this route, and I think that's actually really good because, whenever influencers are promoting certain things, it can come off as like not authentic, right? Because you know that the person is getting paid for it, so they're just gonna say anything, they're going to say anything positive about it. Whereas an actual person that goes and buys the product is going to be more honest. Now, UGC, although it is not influencers or people with large followings, it mostly targets people with smaller followings, so micro influencers, like people like me. And the reason why I think that this is really a really good route to take is because brands are willing to pay you for this type of promotion, and they're also willing to give you free products in exchange for you creating content for their socials. So when they pay actual influencers, they have to pay them, a larger amount of money because they're leveraging that creator's audience. Whereas with micro influencers, they're not leveraging your audience because your audience is not large enough for them. So instead, they're using the content that you make for them on their own page. Now, for me, as someone who's a micro influencer, I'm looking at it as you're getting free products, right? Which will turn into content, right? So you're not having to spend money on products. You're making more content for your social media. So that will eventually help your platform grow. So this is something that I just started, I would say less than a week ago. I mean, I've known about this for a while now, but I honestly didn't really start taking it serious until like about a month ago. I started, I made my portfolio and I made my social media accounts specifically for UGC. It has there's a whole UGC community on TikTok and on Twitter. Those are the two main platforms for UGC. And right now it's not very saturated. It's not a very saturated niche, but definitely like anything over time, it will eventually get saturated. So it's definitely something that I think people should jump on now. I wish I knew about this months ago because I would have jumped on it, as soon as I found out about it, but better late than never. But yeah, so I think that is something that any small creator who eventually wants to grow their platform should look into, because like I said earlier, it's free products, more content, which leads to more visibility, and eventually that can help you grow an audience. And then maybe you'll be able to work with brands as an actual influencer where they're paying you to leverage your audience, if you look at it like that. Or you could even do both. I know there's some people who they work as an influencer, but they also do UGC content. So I think it's a great idea, but that is the route that I'm taking. I'm definitely going to sort of keep track of my UGC journey here on YouTube. I'm going to, I guess, sort of in the form of like a vlog, I'm going to share my journey. That's what I wanted to say. I'm going to share my UGC journey here on YouTube, and hopefully I can inspire other people to start it as well. I just started, so I'm still learning. There's not much information that I can give, but as time goes on and I learn more and I work with brands and, I learn the ins and outs of it, I'm going to share those tips here. So yes, look forward to that. So yeah, so that was pretty much my micro influencer journey. That's where I've been these last few months, trying to build Instagram, trying to build my TikTok. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I have learned a lot. And I think that when you try and you fail at something, what you learn is definitely going to help you in the future. Like now I know exactly what I need to do to get to where I want to be. And I'm happy to share that with you guys. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. If you have never heard of UGC before and you want to learn more about that, you can ask me anything down below. Please follow me on social media, on Instagram, on TikTok. It's simply Flawless Marie on Instagram, and for TikTok, it's Flawless Marie. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.